Good afternoon, everyone. Gerard, it's my honor and pleasure to have been invited here. I was telling Gerard, you must be really important for me to come to Manila and go through the traffic to be here. But when I received the invitation, I was very excited to be able to talk to fellow women leaders. In fact, naniniwala po ako na we are all leaders in our own right. You may be a food server, but you are a leader in your food server area. And that's kind of leadership that we should all recognize. We should all evolve and strive to become a leader. And I don't even look at it just for a woman, but also for men. Actually, I don't like it when women are cuddled. We shouldn't be cuddled. Because to me, there's no such thing as man and a woman. There's only a human being. When somebody asked me sometime down the road when I first got this position, how it is to be a woman in power, honestly, I don't know. Because there shouldn't be any distinction. Whatever a man can do, a woman can. In fact, a woman can do more. Pwede nga tayong manganak eh. They can't. So if you ask me, I'm a human being doing a job. There's no such thing as woman in power. But we all have to take it upon ourselves to do that. To me, actually, being a woman is an advantage. Because you have the smarts, obviously, all of us have it. And then you can turn on the sexy. That's the more important part. You have that confidence to be able to turn on that sexy so that you can be a leader, a woman leader, if you would like to call it, in your own little way, in that own little circle that you have. You don't have to be a department manager. Look, I used to work in a private corporation until recently. Bagong salta lang po ako sa gobyerno. This is my first important government job, and hopefully the last. And I am waiting for the time that I have to go back to the private sector again. But again, I have been called to render service, and I would like to look at it as giving back. So again, I reiterate, leadership is not about position. Leadership is about how you handle your challenges and how you seize the day and take it take it by the neck and what needs to be done is done. There's no such thing as I'm only a janitor. There shouldn't be a thing such as I'm only a waitress. I am a waitress. And I do my job excellently. The problem comes in is when you look upon yourself and say, I'm only a waitress. Or I'm only a janitor. I'm only a department head because there's a vice president. It shouldn't be that way. We have to be able to take stock of our lives and take stock of what we have, and we have to be proud of it. I'm not saying, you might be thinking, oh, you're just saying that because you're the administrator of Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority. My first job, literally, utusan lang ako. Yan, tagakuha ng picture. That was my first job. But I did it well. I did it so well, somebody else took me to also, with a higher salary, to also bring his own bag. Because whatever you do in your own little tiny place, if you do it well, somebody's bound to notice. And dissuade yourself from saying, that's not my job. That's not part of the job description. Ako po again, I go back. This is my first leadership position. All my life, utusan ako in various degrees. When I was with government, when I was first with Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority as a volunteer, and then I moved on to another government official. I worked with Mar Rojas as chief of staff. So isang klaseng utusan, pero utusan pa rin yun, right? So I'm still an errand girl, and then I worked with another private corporation for a few months as a lawyer. But since I'm not the head of the company, utusan pa rin yun. It's really like a varying levels of, being an errand girl. But at the end of the day, the kind of principle that I take is that I just don't say no. I never say no, and I never say that's not my job. If my boss asks me to do it, I'll do it. And I'll do it the best as I could because somebody is bound to notice. And it's not because I'm a woman, because I'm good. Because you're good. For example, I don't know if you know the story of this position. First, I did not apply for this job. I got a call in June 2016 from someone who asked, will you be willing to be part of the list that I'm submitting as chair of Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority? I said yes, because this guy offered me so many jobs that I all said no to them, said no to all of them. And somehow, I love this guy, and I wanted to be able to say yes to him finally. I said yes because I was confident I will not get the job. Why? Because this is a highly politicized position. Diba? Dapat tumulong ka sa eleksyon para makakuha ng ganitong klaseng posisyon. But I did not. I was not political at all. I did not help in the elections. Dead ma. I was dead ma in the elections. I didn't do anything. In fact, I remember during that elections, I was in Batanes. Diba? Napapa-picture. Oh, you should see my pictures there. They're all beautiful. But, ganun ako kawalang, because I was pretty happy with the prize. Just like you guys. I hope you are pretty happy with where you are right now. I was that happy. So I said yes, knowing I will not get it, confident that I will not get it. And then, somebody got appointed as chairman, and then another person got appointed administrator. So I thought that was over. I heaved a sigh of relief. I'm not getting this job. And then suddenly, these two people got into a fight, got into a power fight, power struggle. So now my name is back on the table. Because to end this fight, somebody had to be removed and somebody had to take place. In other words, second stringer lang ako. Diba? And at that point, because I didn't think I'd get the job, I didn't tell my family. My mom called me frantically saying, ano tong, what is it that, I had to speak in English because Gerard is here. So, my mom, because, sorry, I forgot, I'm from Olongapo City. I was born, bred, and raised there. So I'm a local girl. When I worked at Philip Morris, it was the only time I was in Manila. Everybody in my family is back in Olongapo, back in Subic. So anyway, my mom frantically called me and said, what is this rumor here that you're being considered? And I said, I know. And that weekend, after my mom called, all of the family went to Manawag to pray. I'm sure you know that we are all Catholics, and if we want something, we pray, right? And you know what I asked for? Please, do not get me appointed. I'm probably the only one there who was praying for something that I do not want. I do not want it. Don't do it for me. Don't ruin my life. Don't ruin my perfect life. Don't ruin the life that, the reason why I wear Valentino shoes. Don't ruin it. But somehow that didn't happen. So I got appointed, even if I didn't want to. Last year, I went into this very, very difficult time where this chair had another fight, this time with me. Natirang mas maganda. So, after a much long discussion, I got reappointed as chairman of, I got appointed as chairman of the board and reappointed administrator. So suddenly, for the first time in many, many years, I became the leadership of SBMA was given to one person. Similar to what Dick Gordon was when he first started Subic. Can you imagine that? How can I even feel shoes that big? I'm in awe of Dick Gordon. I have always been in awe of Dick Gordon. And suddenly, they're asking me to do his job. And honestly, I felt that hollow. In fact, if you'll ask them, sa dami ng mga atat na appoint, wala pang appointment paper, nanduto na sila sa Subic, nag-a-announce, nag-a-attend ng flag ceremony. Ako, my name was already out in the papers. My appointment paper was already published in the newspapers. I remember very strictly, that's December 28. And I did not show up in Subic until January 15, when I already got sworn in. They were all waiting for me. So ganda ko ba naman natin, hindi nila ako hintayin ba? Diba? They were all waiting for me and I didn't show up. You know why? I didn't want to show up there when I'm not ready. Because I will tell you, and I have told you, I was not ready. I didn't want this job. So when I found out, I had fear. As in, hindi ko man masabing takot eh. Because fear is different. You know, that kind of feeling that, God, can I do this? Can I do the job of Dick Gordon? Really? Really, me? And I'm sure we all had doubts somewhere along the way. When you gave birth, can you really be a mother? Or, you know, so I had that kind of fear. And I didn't want my people to smell that fear. So until I was ready, until I have convinced myself that I can do it, I didn't show. I didn't show up. By the time I got there by January 15, 2017, I'm fearless. Nobody could stop me. Nobody could stop me. The last person who picked a fight with me, nawala ng posisyon. So, excuse me lang. So, I go back. They were asking, actually, ang theme ng talk ko dapat malasakit eh. But, now I'm changing all that. I'm sorry. Because now I see all these women and I wanted you to see that you can do it. I did. Hindi ako matalino, by the way, kanino mo kay RJ. Si RJ here is the Deputy Administrator from... RJ, can you please stand up to be recognized? RJ is a law school classmate. Magbarkada kami sa law school. And kami yung mga umiinom lang, umupunta sa Faces, sa Euphoria. Jologs lang kami. I was never the kind who stood out in class. My legs stood out in class, that's for sure. But I was never that kind. I was the kind who coasted and did it well. Did coasting very well. But I also had the privilege of being mentored. And I was mentored well. And to those who are, I see very young faces here, find a mentor. Find somebody who you can emulate. Find someone, it doesn't have to be Gerard. Somebody who can help you, or who you can learn work ethic from. Or, because there's a lot of things that you could learn. Akala ko din dati, wala na akong kayang matutunan. And even until now, in the position that I have, I learn every day. And surprises, I learn it from my people. Kasi ako na yung pinakamata sa amin eh. There's nobody above me, Gerard. So there's nobody to mentor me anymore. But I find out, I learn a lot of things every day from my people. Because I listen. And because I make sure they know I listen. And I make sure they know that no matter what happens, as long as they did right, I will protect them. I am very, very fiercely protective of my people. Makikipag-away ako sa media kung kailangan. If you say something that belittles my people, then you're in trouble. They don't call me the mother of dragons for nothing. Because if you don't take care of your people, who will? And I say people, again, babalik ako, you don't have to run a 3,000 strong company like me. Your people in the staff. If you're assigned in the bar, people serving in the bar are your people. Gerard is your people. It doesn't have to be that kind of people. I guess now I go back to what they asked me to do. Kasi nagmamalasakit ako eh. I think doon ang gagaling yun eh. When I say my people, when I say the bar is my kingdom, because galing yun sa malasakit eh. I have to explain to Gerard now what malasakit is. Malasakit is a word in Filipino that parang it sounds like, it's like caring, but more. I've always described it as a love that comes from the gut. The kind of love that hurts. The kind of love you give to your kids because you'll die for them. That kind of love. And so all this, what I'm saying right now that I'm thinking about it, it comes from malasakit. Kasi if I don't care for you guys, if I don't care for my people, who will? If I don't fight for them, who will? And that's what I think brought me to wherever I am. I have been mentored very well. I was mentored by, and I'm very, very proud to say, I've been mentored by Senator Richard Gordon. All my work ethic came from Richard Gordon. All my spunk, this kind of spunk, I learned from him. I didn't even realize, you won't believe this, but I don't have a public speaking experience since this job. Hindi po ako nagsasalita ng ganito until na-appoint ako. But you know what? I realized I can do it because 25 years ago, I was mentored by the best person who does public speaking. I didn't practice it 25 years, but on the 26th year, it all came back. And apparently, I'm good at it. So it's very important. But ang point ko is, you don't think you're learning, but you are. You are. You'll draw from it many years later, maybe like I did now for public speaking. But you have to be consciously learning and trying to be better. And there's no job so little, and there shouldn't be fear. That's how I look at it. And I don't want to make this any longer because parang nabobore na kayo. When I became chairman and administrator of Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority, again, as I said, I was coasting all my life. And now I cannot do that anymore. There's just too much at stake. And I realized that I am and I have all my life. I just didn't find the right word for it. All my life, I have been driven by 4 things. And I'll share it with you in the hope that you'll also be driven by it. Whatever you do, may it be your family life, may it be your personal life, and most importantly, your professional life. Whatever you do it with integrity and character. Because your integrity is everything. If you don't have it, you might as well not live. Because integrity is important. It cannot be compromised. It's your legacy. It's your parents' legacy on you. And with integrity comes character. Character doesn't have to be as strong as mine. Obviously, malakas ang dating ko. Di ba? But character is more than malakas ang dating. Character is how you handle your issues, how you handle your problems. Character comes out if when you are faced with a problem and you run. Character comes out when you're faced with difficulties and you'd get lost and don't know what to do. When I'm faced with difficulties, even until now, all my life, I would always ask, what will make my dad proud? Because that would be the kind of character I want, the one that my dad has. So I've always considered my integrity and my character two of the most important things that I bring in to whatever I do. The third is passion. Passion is, listen how I speak, that's passion. Listen how I just told you that itong mga mokong na to, nakikipag-away ako sa media para sa mga to. That's passion. You know, to do everything 300%. Nothing in the middle. There's no such thing as pwede na yan. There shouldn't be okay na yan. There should not be, when you do something, oh, that's passable. There shouldn't be that. Passion is when you want to do anything and everything 300% all the time. And then last is you do things with love. You have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, leave it. Because when there's no love, why do you even live? I will end here. Muli, maraming salamat, and I do appreciate your invitation. Thank you very much.